We're just playing a game of Am I the A-hole?
Oh.
Father edition, father and daughter.
Save your votes. Save your votes.
All right.
We know very little other than that she was at a theme park.
Well, she was at a theme park called Carowinds. And
Is this a class trip?
yes,
How fun.
Glee Club.
Oh, yeah.
Brought back some memories, I can tell you that.
It did.
Oh, man. How many times have I performed on stage over at Carowinds? At least 3. At least 3 times I've done that.
Did she bring you back?
Authorized?
Well, twice authorized. Once I just said, get out of the way. I'm doing that.
Did she remember?
Dance.
Yes.
Did she remember Daddy and bring you something back from the fudgery?
No, I was disappointed. I thought she'd bring me something like that. She went. They had a tremendously good time. They had to perform for 30 minutes, and then the rest of the day's theirs. The rest of the day, all there. So it was great, and she loved it.
This wasn't just a field trip then. Okay. This is work.
Right. Yeah, they had to perform. Yeah, so they worked, early, and then all day, and they were there till closing time, and loved it.
Epic.
Oh, great trip. Her first time going to Carowinds, which is a great thing.
Oh, well, that is special.
Yeah. So she wrote, she likes big roller coasters and stuff. Well, when she got home, now I wasn't awake when she got home, but the next day she told me that on some of the rides that really jostle you, she had kept her phone in her pocket and it poked her and she was jostled around so much that she had a real injury and it really hurt when she moved, like down in her lower.
She still felt it.
Yeah. And this was a day later. And I said, okay, right. Yeah, suck it up. Sure. Okay. I mean, she told me, she's like, I'm an injury.
Phone injury.
Yeah. I said, phone injury.
Yeah. Daddy's watching Three's Company.
Come on. Right. And she said, I think something's really wrong because I got really jostled around on this ride and my one side, my left side is really in pain. I said, all right.
Go take an aspirin.
Exactly. I didn't even say that. I said, okay, suck it up.
Yeah. Not all of us got to spend the day at Carowinds.
Right. Some of us have to work for that kind of thing, And so the next day, again, she was, I have trouble moving and all this.
2 days on.
Yeah, 2 days on. And my wife said, do you think I should take her to the doctor?
Did she see any bruising?
Yeah.
I didn't. No one saw any bruising. I didn't check.
Okay, well, then you wouldn't.
Well, I mean, that's why I said, did you ask her if she was bruised?
Someone may have. I paid so little attention to it.
Clearly.
I mean, I just thought, all right.
Phone, roller coaster, next.
Yeah, okay.
You're young.
You're
You'll be
right.
fine.
Yeah, exactly. And my wife said to me, do you think I ought to take her to the doctor? And I said, no, I do not.
Don't be ridiculous.
I said, I'm sure she's...
It's a copay and a deductible.
Sure she's...
Put it on Biggie's tab.
Come on now.
The Biggie's running a tab over there.
He's maxed out.
Biggie's already maxed his copay.
Yep.
Would you mind? I should have called you. Would you mind?
Can you take her in?
Can I...
I don't want to do my copay this time.
Can I throw her on yours? Well, yesterday, I got home from work, nobody there. And
How many days after the incident are we?
Let's see. Saturday,
3, 4, 3.5?
3 days after the incident. Right. And I get home, and the dog's there, but nobody else is, which is surprising because the dog goes where my wife goes.
Yes.
If she's going to pick up from school, the dog goes with her.
Oh.
And it was early to be picked up from school. I was like, where is everybody? I didn't know what was going on. And then I looked on my, I can track my wife.
Oh, yes, that's
Yes.
right. That's right.
So I tracked her, and it said she was 25 minutes away from me. And I just turned on the TV.
Sweet. Let's see, 25 minutes by the time I get to the bedroom.
Right. I just turned on. I just didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
And later she comes home with my daughter. I said, where y'all been? She goes, well, it's nice of you to ask. And I said, well, I don't know.
I told me.
I said, just check. I just checked,
Said you were 25 minutes away, and I thought that was a gift from God.
He rejoiced.
She said, well, I took your daughter to urgent care. And I said,
Uh-oh.
Why? So I said, what happened? She goes, that roller coaster injury. I said, are you kidding me? And she said, well, the doctor is concerned she has bruised ribs. And
Bruised ribs?
Bruised ribs. And he said, no strenuous activity, no PE for the next 2 weeks, no swimming, that kind of stuff. And I said, are you kidding me? Again, I still wasn't into it. And then the doctor called later and confirmed, yeah, we got bruised ribs here and tenderness on the inside. I said, from a roller coaster and a phone. And she said, yeah, apparently whatever happened.
She's not urinating blood, is she?
I didn't ask. I'm not.
What's nice of your concern?
Well, I wasn't. I thought this is a typical children go through it thing. Of course, one time my son complained of a wrist injury, and I told him to suck it up. It was a broken wrist.
I knew one of your children had broken an arm or a wrist.
That's him.
And then you ignored.
I ignored.
You reached full dad mode on this one where you don't even believe the doctor.
I was like,
bruised rib.
come on, really? Can you prove that?
Rub
And
dirt
there's
on
nothing you can do for a bruised rib, I guess, except rest.
Rest. That's right. Yep. Terry, you're talking about roller coaster injuries. Go ahead.
Hey, I don't think I remember that roller coaster used to be at Myrtle Beach called the Mouse.
I know the Mouse. Oh, yeah. Was that at the pavilion?
Yeah. Yeah, at the pavilion.
Yep.
I took my son. My son was he was about 5 or 6 years old, and I got on the roller coaster with him. Well, when it whipped around, I felt something like a tearing or burning sensation on my left side. And a week after we were home, I got sick and went into shock because it had ruptured my appendix.
Whoa. Oh, my gosh.
Wow. A ruptured appendix.
That's terrifying.
Boy, that is.
Perforated. It was a small tear in my appendix. Like they had to go in and look surgically to confirm that it was my appendix.
My goodness. Man, that's bad.
So you can get hurt from those roller coasters.
And did you go back on roller coasters, or are you done with them?
Oh, yeah, I do. I love roller coasters, but I ain't going to ride one that whips it around. Every time I see that little roller coaster, I think they have one like it now at Carowinds, or they used to, but I was like, don't ride that roller coaster because it ripped my appendix.
You should stand there with a sign.
The Mouse?
The Mouse got her appendix. Thanks, Terry. What a story. Well, I guess the moral is here, believe your children. You know, when they talk to you, believe them. I just thought, okay, she got jostled around a little bit, so what? You know.
Remember what sets the Mouse apart as a ride?
It was, now I have not seen it for a long. It's very fast, and I think it just whips you. Like she said, it takes hairpin turns.
Whiplash.
Yeah, sometimes the smaller ones that are older, when they jostle you around, they hurt.
I can't remember if it's still there. Remember, was it Rebel Yell? Or Thunder Road at
Thunder Road,
at Carowinds.
Great.
That was the old wooden coaster, right? And they had 2 trains, 2 tracks.
Yes.
And Kelly and I were there 25 years ago with a group of people here from the station, and we rode all the rides all day. And I think one of the last rides I decided to ride Thunder Road backwards. Yep. Remember, they would send it around backwards.
Yep.
And I got whiplashed on like one of the last, the far turn.
Yes, that makes sense because, of course, you can't see it coming.
I wasn't injured, but my neck was sore for like 3-4 days.
It does. That one would really jerk you around.
Yeah.
And
because when you see it coming, you can prepare your body a little
One
more.
would go forward, one would go backwards. They've torn that one down. I felt like that was a great roller coaster.
It's too bad.
I know, because it was a good old-fashioned...
That's like a Coney Island old school.
Yeah, wooden.
It was a great ride.
It was a great ride. Exactly.
But that's the way these places want it. You know, they want you to hurt after you get home.
Oh, I guess.
So that way you can't come back and they'll be like to prove that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Right.
It was back in the day too when they didn't have cameras.
Yeah, she just was in pain after she got home.
Bless her bones.
And I just told her to toughen. I told her, here's a factoid for you, Dave. I told her to take some Motrin. I said,
That's all really you can
take
do now.
an Advil, right? This is a factoid Chris Demm gave me earlier. We'll have it on Tough Ass Trivia in a few weeks. Do you know in this?
Hear me now and think of me later.
That's right. Remember this now. It is estimated that every 3 seconds in America, someone buys either Advil or Motrin, one of those types of ibuprofen. Every 3 seconds. So just while we're sitting here talking, since I've told you that, there have been 3 of them sold.
Yeah.
It's that quick in America. I was blown away by that, too.
It's in every pocketbook. It's in cars.
Yeah.
Is that averaged out, or is that really...
They say every 3 seconds, somebody's buying it right now.
I always wondered that when they took those stats, if they just took them over the course of a year
and
then said, okay, now divide it up into minutes and seconds.
Maybe that's the only way they can do that.
But I mean, that's a lot. A lot of drugs. I buy them.
Absolutely.
On the road?
Yeah.
Gas stations?
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere.
Well, yeah, if you have a little headache, a little body ache or something, you buy it.
No, we don't. I mean, when we buy them in bulk now.
Oh, us too.
At our age, so we get the 500 capsule
us too.
Model. So we're not buying them every 3 seconds.
Right.
Yeah. No, but if you're on vacation, you buy. You need a little 3-pack of goodies.
Little pick me up.
Yeah.
Now, my wife puts them in the sandwich bags, and we take them with us.
Of course, she's brilliant.
Because we have a 500 capsule package, and she puts 20 in there.
Just shake them in there like pepper.
Right. So we have them, right? Speaking of, now this is injury on vacation. A woman from New Hampshire terrible vacation incident. She was in Bali. They had been planning this, she and her husband, for years, and they travel all over the place. Beth and Les Bogar from West Chesterfield, New Hampshire, went to Bali, and one of the things they did was go to an animal park where you could get up close with the animals, and the one they got up close with was an elephant. And unfortunately, the elephant bit her in the arm.
Elephants bite?
I never thought they would, but I don't even know if it was for a bite, per se, but her arm got in the elephant's mouth and he didn't let go.
Yeah.
And she says she blames not the elephant, but the elephant's trainer, because the elephant's trainer guided her on every move to make. And she said, he guided me too close to the elephant's mouth.
I just feel as though he was guiding me and he let my arm get too close to his mouth, and I didn't know how close too close was.
All of a sudden, she said she was suctioned in there. You heard her.
So
Yeah.
they weren't riding the elephants.
They had already done that. They rode the elephants earlier.
Were they just kind of petting the trunk or whatever, or getting pictures?
Saw a ton of pictures from this event. The two of them had ridden the elephants already, and then when they got done, the trainer said, if you want to stroke his trunk or get some pictures.
Or feed him?
Feed him. They didn't have any food, but
Okay.
she was next to him. And as you heard, the guide said he had been with the elephant 24 years. He said, trust me. And she felt her arm get sucked into the elephant's mouth. And then she said it cracked down on her arm.
I couldn't get my arm out. I could just hear cracking. And I just started to panic. It was like a suction pushed into his mouth.
You can hear how much pain she has even now. This is weeks after the event. They're back at home now on her
How
back.
did she fly home? That must have been misery.
That must have been. It broke several bones in her arm. I mean, I saw the x-ray, and her arm was messed up.
Elephant got teeth?
I think elephants got big teeth.
Teeth, yeah, they do have teeth. But it was the pressure, I guess, of the jaw.
Maybe it wanted to see what was in its mouth. There's only one way to tell for an elephant. It can't look down there. It's got to take
twisting it around.
It's got to take a little munch and see what that is. Might
Maybe
be a branch.
Maybe.
What if I had picked up stuff with its trunk and then pulled it up?
I guess it felt her arm in her mouth and said, I'll see what this is.
Is this food?
For whatever reason, it locked down on her. Now, she said, you heard her say, she said, I felt the cracking, I heard the cracking, and once my arm got out of the elephant's mouth, she said, what should I do? They brought her an ice pack from the office.
Yeah, that's what Chris Kelly would do for his kid.
That's my, I said, toughen up.
You go toughen up.
Toughen up a little.
Started deleting the pictures off her phone.
Yeah.
Enough are you?
Immediately.
And she thinks the guy put her arm in the elephant's mouth.
She thinks the guy guided her to get too close to the elephant. She was doing exactly what he said, and she got too close, and then the elephant bit down her. Why do you say no? I believe her. She said she did
I don't
everything.
think anybody would put anybody's arm or a piece
She
of her
just said-
body in an animal's mouth.
No, he didn't do that. She said he said you can get closer to him for the picture, and she was like stroking the trunk, which he also told her to do, and then it bit her on the arm. He didn't say to put your arm in the mouth.
No.
It did it.
But she said he guided it there.
He said he guided her too close to the mouth, and I guess that's probably near the trunk.
I think he was probably taking her arm or kind of saying, pet here.
Right, yeah.
Pet here.
Yeah.
And I bet that she kept getting higher up the trunk.
Perhaps.
And that's where it finally was just like, and it does, as you said, pick things up with its trunk.
Mhm.
So it might have thought, okay, well, this is something that I can pick up and something for me to eat.
Yeah.
And
Maybe.
just took her arm and just put it right in. And then was like, most of us, when you taste human flesh, you're like,
Cracked it, spit it, and now she's gone through a surgery.
And this is my incision. But the doctor was able to go in. There are plates, there are screws, and everything is put back together. But it's going to be a long road.
Ooh, but the deal is it cost $10,000, and she wanted them to pay all $10,000 of her medical bill, and they settled with her at half of it, which was $4,800. But then the more her husband called back down to Bali, they went on back to New Hampshire. What did I say, New Hampshire or Connecticut?
Yeah.
New Hampshire. They went back to New Hampshire, and the husband kept emailing and calling, and they stopped taking his calls, and they stopped replying
So
to
they
him.
haven't gotten any money?
They are just now, they've gotten a lawyer involved, and the lawyer says they are ready to pay. They've agreed to $4,800, but they haven't seen it just yet.
It's tough to extract from another country.
Yeah, from Bali, exactly. Her message to anyone traveling?
In a split second, your entire trip can really be changed. And not just your trip, but your life can really be changed.
Yeah, her whole arm is
she's right.
messed up, yeah. All by being next to that elephant. I would be trusting of the guide as well. And the guide had said, I've been with this elephant 24 years. He's not, and he kept saying, he's not going to hurt you. He's not going to hurt you. And then
it's almost the 180-degree opposite of what you hear in U.S. parks. Of course, those are different. Those are wild animals. You don't ride the bison. You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
But people still get too close to them.
Aaron, you're talking about elephants. Now, this woman had her arm broken in multiple places by this elephant. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, I feel horrible for her, but how awesome that she gets to say she got her arm bitten by an elephant.
Yeah, I mean, really,
There's that.
What
it
a
is the
story.
topper of all toppers at cocktail parties.
How'd you hurt your arm? An elephant bit it.
in Bali.
Yeah.
Shut up. It did not.
Ow.
No, here's the video.
No, it did. Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, she does. She has the story forever, doesn't she? There's another woman that's fighting with animals today. She found snakes, large snakes, in her home that she just moved into. Now, I would think they would catch this on all the many walkthroughs you do and the inspections that you do.
Well, don't check inside the walls, though, right?
You don't think that, I guess you don't hear them. You don't know that they're slithering. And that's where they are. They're inside the walls.
Inspector noticed no mice.
Yeah. Absolutely not. And she says now she spent over $1,000 to get rid of them.
Well, guys, here he is, the snake. Yeah, you could feel like it was warm and squishy in there. Because they're all right here, when you open the store, you have to be super careful. My kids and I are afraid to sleep in our beds, afraid to use the restroom because snakes might come out of the toilet. The snake hunting, the traps, already over $1,000 I've paid.
She is a first-time homebuyer in Colorado and dealing with what they're calling a massive snake infestation that has likely been there for at least 2 to 3 years, according to experts. She is seeing them all over the place, and she's counted about 15. That woman's name is Amber Hall. She says she thinks 15 so far, and she hears them inside the walls at night. Now, she's just got to call a snake wrangler. She's got to call an expert to get rid of them, right? But they're inside the walls, and how many are there? Yeah.
How do they get in there? And how do they eat? I mean, they got to eat.
Are there mice back there, or they go out and eat?
They go out.
They go out to eat?
Well, like your family.
we go out
The
to
kitchen's
eat.
remodeled.
Yeah.
They always say with snakes, they're there because there's a food source there.
And it's warm.
Yeah. Well, you're right. There's got to be something there for them to eat.
Or they have an exit, like a basement or crawl space or
Or
something.
just wintered there.
That they can't. Maybe they wintered there, but you got to find that hole and patch it up.
Of course, somebody said they've been there 2 to 3 years, which means maybe they winter there every year.
They may.
You know, they come back and go
Like
back.
snowbirds.
Yeah. Adam, you're talking about elephants. This poor woman that had her arm bitten by the elephant. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had Chris. I was down there in your hometown, Asheboro. I was plowing for Randolph Telephone, and we had to put some pipe in the elephant enclosure in the zoo there. And they moved all the elephants to the large holding barn that they have.
Mm-hmm.
We had to pull wire through this pipe after we got done burying it. And I was down there about 3 or 4 feet away from the big fence, about a 15-foot tall fence.
Mm-hmm.
And zoologist told me to watch out, keep an eye on this big bull elephant. He likes to reach over and try to grab sticks and stuff over top of the fence. And I was pulling wire through this pipe, and you can't hear them. They're very, very quiet animals. And I just had this feeling something was about to happen. I looked up, and he was reaching over top of the fence to try to grab me. And the zoologist started screaming at me, telling me to get back. And they said that they could have picked me up and put me over top of that fence. That's the end of the game there.
Wow. Whoa. That is, what a frightening story.
I didn't know an elephant could sneak up on you.
Yeah. Quiet, you say.
Yeah,
you didn't know.
They're very, very quiet because we were right next to them all day, and they were in this pen. I mean, we were probably 15, 20 feet from them. Mm-hmm. And you'd think a big animal would make big footfalls, big loud noises, but they were just quiet as they could be.
I'm stunned to hear that.
Same.
And the fact that he could have picked you up and brought him into his enclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like the claw machine game.
Yeah.
Angled just right.
Thanks, Adam.
You think the other elephants were egging him on?
You can do it.
Yeah.
It's right there. Go
Go get him. I've never considered elephants to be dangerous. I just feel like
just their size. I mean.
they're big. Right, exactly.
I bet they were so mad at the zoologist too. Thanks, Larry.
Shut up. Once in a while. How often do we get guys?
Whose side are you on?
Exactly.
Well, they used to trample. I mean, in the old jungle movies, the 40s and 50s, they would trample. The natives. They would trample.
Yeah.
The people out there trying to.
You don't want to
kill
piss them
Tarzan.
off.
Yeah, a herd of them
A
gets
stampede
moving.
will do some damage.
Well, that's what happened to.
But that you'd hear.
No, it wasn't elephants. I'm sorry. I was thinking that's what happened to Mufasa in Lion King, but it was wildebeest.
No, those are the wildebeest.
The wildebeest got him, yeah. And poor Simba had to witness it. Tough scene. Tough scene.